What's going on, Skullbrains? Welcome to another episode of Skullbrain TV, and in this episode, we begin the Ancestral Challenge for book number 4. But first, how did you go with the Ancestral Challenge for book number 3, Baal the Giant Spider? Were you able to find Shumi and Shubi? They were hidden away here, under this little mound here. And how'd you go with the fragments of the Evil One's mask? One of them was here on page 39, hidden away in the cobwebs when the heroes find the mighty Muldoon's badge. And the other one is here on page 44, hidden behind this thicket of gripewort. Were you able to find them? And how'd you go with the Monsters and Magic Challenge? If you guessed Baal was based on Biliku, you are 100% correct. Okay, let's get into the Ancestral Challenge for book number 4. You're again going to be looking for Shumi and Shubi, and in this issue you're going to meet one of the Ancestral Guardians named Jarut, and hidden somewhere in the pages is a picture of his mace. See if you can spot it. You're also going to be keeping an eye out for one of the Life Force pods hidden among the illustrations. As for the Monsters and Magic Challenge, see if you can guess who the villain was based on off of these Monster and Magic cards. Starting with King Midas. On getting selfish wishes granted. Beware of wishes that come true. King Midas got his dearest wish, and it became his burden. When a friendly god granted Midas his wish, greed overcame the king, and he wished that everything he touched should turn to gold. And so it was. The king touched his finger on some grapes, and the delicious fruit turned into hard metal. He turned to his servant, touched his arm, and the man became a statue. King Midas could scarcely believe his eyes. He touched a horse, a vase, a shield, a tree, each turned to gold. The king was delighted. Evening came, and to celebrate his good fortune, he ordered a feast to be served. Soon his children gathered round him, and delicious food was brought in. Midas lifted a glass to his lips, but it turned to gold, and the king could not drink. He bit into the plump breast of a young pheasant. The meat clinked harshly under his teeth. It had turned to gold. Hungry and thirsty, Midas got up and paced furiously. After his children had finished eating, he bent down to embrace them. To his horror, they too became lifeless statues of gold. Midas wept bitter tears of despair. Now he regretted his foolish, greedy wish. He rushed back to the god and begged him to take back the wish. The god took pity on him and told Midas the secret that undid the spell. Thus did the king learn that wishes are sometimes best left unfulfilled. Sometimes. And next we have Medusa. On eyes that have hideous powers. They say the eyes are the windows of the soul. The soul of Medusa was cold, and her eyes were colder still. Yet Medusa had once been beautiful. Then she annoyed the powerful goddess Athene, who took revenge by transforming her into a monster. So angry and terrifying was Medusa that a single look from her turned people to stone. Her eyes shone yellow in her green face, and when she opened her mouth, her ugly teeth showed long and curved. Instead of hair, 100 slithery snakes writhed and hissed all over her head. So deadly was her gaze that Perseus, the son of a mighty god, resolved to slay the monster. The gods helped Perseus by giving him a sharp-edged sickle, winged sandals to enable him to fly, and a helmet to make him invisible. Athene herself gave him a shield that shone like a mirror. She told him not to stare into Medusa's eyes, but instead to look at her reflection in the shield. Perseus flew to Medusa's cavern. He could not see her, but he could hear her raspy breathing. He turned his back on the sound and put on the magic helmet. Looking into the polished shield, he moved backwards until he could almost touch the hissing snakes on Medusa's head. Then he brought the sickle down behind him and cut the terrifying head right off. Still looking through the shield, Perseus seized Medusa's head and threw it into a thick sack where its evil gaze remained unseen. Both of these characters come from ancient Greece. So, see if you can guess who the villain in the next book is based on. And that is it for the Ancestral Challenge for book number 4. There were no letter tokens to collect in this issue, but there will be more to come. So, enjoy, look forward to the next episode, and until then, stay tuned, and stay skull-brained.